Everybody, and welcome to meditation. We're doing it on Wednesday morning, but you might be doing it on another time. So, welcome wherever you're coming from. I had a request for a meditation that's going to help release the neck and the upper back. And sometimes seated meditation, we did the mountain meditation last week. We try to do things that help release that. But today, we're actually going to do a meditation lying down on our backs so that we can really release with gravity down into the earth. So I'm going to suggest that after I say this, you hit pause to get a couple of things. One of them, and I started up high, but we're going to end up coming down lower so you can see. I want a blanket or a pillow that I can roll up so that I have a support underneath my neck, but not underneath my head as much. If you feel like you're in a space where it gets cold, you might want to have a blanket on standby to cover up. So go ahead and we're going to just lay down. And I should also say, if you want to bolster underneath your knees, that for some people is lovely. So this is what we're going to do the meditation from today, right? So I take that blanket and I have it kind of folded up just generally, right? Not too crazy high. And then I'm going to roll the edge of that blanket up and I'm going to bring it under my neck. And how high? I can't tell you that in the sense that, that depends on your neck. We have different curvature depending on our bodies. I want it to come up and I want to feel it against my neck, right? But I don't want it to push my neck up to the sky like crazy. So hopefully that makes sense. So find the height that you need to feel like your neck is supported and has a roll underneath it. Not too much height underneath the head. We'd love the head to be pretty even with the rest of the body, if that's okay and comfortable enough. Put a blanket over your body if you're in an area where it is going to cool down. Your body will, cool down when we're not moving. And again, if you'd like a bolster underneath your legs, you can put a bolster under your legs to extend them out. Or you could just have the feet on the ground with the knees bent or legs in full extension with no support. So this is going to be a visualization, right? And the visualization is going to be the idea of you being a tree that has fallen over, a log on the forest floor, right? And we're going to move through some stages of decomposition, I'll say. So find yourself in your most comfortable position, right? Those arms can be out with the palms up, or if you feel more connected in any way, you can put your hands on your body, maybe one on the belly, one on the heart, or both on the belly. You can try them on for size, everything I just said, and then be like, oh gosh, this one feels really good right now. And one of the reasons I love lying down on our backs, right? We don't always want to meditate here if we are going to fall asleep. It kind of defeats the purpose of meditation. That said, when we're lying on our back, we're no longer holding our body up. So we really get to release. And with that blanket roll, the neck has a support system, right? So we're going to start up on the back side of the body. I'd like you to come with your awareness into your neck and just let your neck soften down into that blanket. So the nervous system feels the blanket. The nervous system says, oh, I can release. This is wonderful. And release the neck. And then let that come down into that upper back, right? What I call the upper trap land or upper trapezius. Soften those upper trapezius. It's technically one muscle, but soften both sides of it and let that come down to the mid back, mid trapezius, right? All the way down along the spine to the low back. If the low back is sensitive, I definitely suggest a bolster under the legs or feet on the ground with the knees bent. Soften the buttocks and the back of the hips, the back of the pelvis to the earth, the back of the legs, the knees. And all the way down to the heels. Let the heels soften down. And for just a moment, think of those bones and all the weight that they have, right? Think of those muscles and all the weight that they have. And let gravity do its job here. You let go. Your whole body widens and moves down into the floor. And then put on your imagination cap, so to speak, right? All of this is now imagination. Some people call it visualization, which to me, visualization is part memory and part imagination, right? Maybe you have the memory of a tree, a log, I'm going to call it, that you've seen on the forest floor somewhere, or many, right? It could be a compilation. Or maybe you make one up just now that's brand new, all your imagination in your head. But start when it's fallen on the earth and it's still pretty much in its full tree trunk form. Yeah. And then we're going to do baby flash forwards, I'm going to call them. Where first we're this tree that's fallen onto the forest floor and we are full of our bark and our wood. Right? But as we lay on that floor for a number of years, that forest floor, slowly we start to decompose, right? So you can think of, I'm a nature girl, so this doesn't scare me. I did have one person tell me it was a little strange to be thinking of being a decaying, decomposing thing, but I think it, if nothing else, it prepares us for our final times in this body. So, bugs come in and bugs start to eat the mycelium, which are the fungi, start to come in and they start to help that decomposition. And so slowly we start to maybe lose a little bit of that hard wood quality. Maybe our wood becomes a little softer. Maybe we lose a little bark. And as we move forward through our time on the forest floor, maybe we start to get some mosses that grow along with the fungi. And if you have things you're adding in, right, that work for you, please do. It's your visualization. But as time goes on, we almost become denser, right? We become more a part of the forest floor as we slowly start to maybe lose a little bit of that bark on the bottom side of our body that's in contact with the earth. And we decompose even more, and maybe we slowly start to lose that shape of the log. And now maybe we're a little bit more like shards of wood. We're moving towards sawdust. And now, in addition to the moss, maybe other seeds fall down and get caught in the moss and start to grow. Maybe other baby trees or flowers. Maybe an orchid. Right? Play with it. What other organisms does the log start to feed so they can grow? And as we become more a part of that forest floor, our muscles and our body just start to relax even more and more and more. And we become a part of the earth that we're connected with. And maybe you fast forward a little more to the point where you almost can't tell if you were passing by in the forest that there once was this full tree trunk that fell down on the forest floor. You've become a part of the floor. But again, the things that are growing up out of that really wonderful, nutritious soil are just amazing. All the shades of green. And you can let that be all over your body, but particularly take a moment and let that green, right? All of the mosses or lichen or whatever's growing, right? Let that be in the area of the heart.
And anything else that you envision or visualize growing up out of that hummus, and maybe imbibe those things with colors. So that our body sustains not only life and growth, but also colors. And then you can keep playing with that visualization and keep coming back to that as an anchor point. And my hope is that the visualization helped your body completely give way to gravity and soften down into the blanket, the bolster, the earth, whatever props and floor you're on. And then I'm going to take my voice out for about 5 minutes. And as per usual, the mind will get busy, it will wander off. So, options today would be to come back to that visualization of you being a part of the forest floor and what you've created in your mind, or just bring your awareness back to your breath, noticing the breath, observing the breath, and doing those, again and again and again, as many times as necessary. So, I'm going to take my voice out and I'll come talk you out in about 5 minutes. And bring your awareness back into your physical body, the one that's here in the present moment, lying on the floor. Hmm. If movement feels like that would be appropriate, you might choose to move the body in any way, shape, or form while you're here on your back. Thomas Hanna, who works with somatic movement, would call it authentic movement. We close our eyes and just move the body however it would like to. And eventually, let's roll through the fetal position to come up just so we keep that softness of the body, particularly the neck and the upper back. And because it's that kind of day, I would encourage you when you roll through the fetal position and as you're about to push yourself up, notice if your head leads. And if it does, ask it to stay down, push into that hand that's in front of the chest, and let the neck be the very last thing to engage as you come up to seated. And we won't be here for long, but feel free to prop yourself up in any way, shape, or form. Now, can you still here, seated, find that long spine? Imagine that blanket roll coming in to support the neck as the crown of the head gently reaches up, right? But can you still find some of that softness you had just moments ago lying down on the forest floor? Bring those hands together in front of the chest. Inhale. Exhale, bow the head in. Just take a moment of gratitude. You gave yourself the space and the time. Meditation is one of the hardest parts of the practice for me, but I keep showing up because I know the benefits. Namaste. Hmm. Have a blessed day, everybody.